Well, the final 2 weeks of West Coast Conference play open up tonight in Pullman, Washington. The Washington State Cougars welcoming in the San Francisco Dons in what's a race to the finish now in the West Coast Conference regular season. Gonzaga and Portland leading the charge. Washington State squarely in third. Tahina looking inside. Mendez spinning back left and has the first points for Washington State.
And they have the advantage, 16-8 in the paint, and they got it done.
And Tara Wallach tonight starting in her 99th straight game in her career. And Wallach right on cue, getting to work in the paint for Washington State, a couple points down low.
From having a fairly big lineup to just an average size lineup.
San Francisco team that was off to an excellent start at 5-0 in league play. The Cougars dicing them up right now. Pettigrew trying to post up. It's taken away by Freya Worth. Worth 3-on-1 the other way. It bounces Leachy. Tara Wallach with a block shot. And now Wallach transitioning the other way, 2-on-1. Takes it herself. How about the block shot and then going the other direction for two?
Well, great read by Wallach, using her length 6'2", and then her ability to play 1 through 5. She's got the handles, and she says, hey, I'm just...
They only had 8 points in all that first quarter in the first meeting with Washington State. They've had 12 here in the first 4 minutes, the Dons. Jenna Villa stepping around the defender and finishing.
Well, right here, like I said, Jenna Villa, a three-point shooter usually, but...
Sol Castro, Marina Hernandez, 4 injured Dons. Ball loose, Charlotte Abraham. It's into her waiting hands. Some good clean offense. She felt like they were really good offensively against Portland last time out. But Portland hit a lot of shots in what was a close game. Without points for almost 4 minutes. Wallach penetrating and kicking out to Abraham for 3. But Abraham just coming up with his big shot for Washington State. You mentioned the confidence.
Yeah, I mean, she recognizes that she's open. The lefty has enough battle. She's the ultimate competitor.
Ends up being taken away from Pettigrew for a moment by Ziaka.
Attack.
Well, the difference, she said, from France is she would throw punches in France. And I guess get away with it. Keita down inside. Chawali Porta's had a couple nice post moves. There's the defense from Alzina, that time poking in to swipe it away.
Yeah, and Emma had the advantage with AT down low, but because of Alzina, she was able to help out her teammate. And then on the other side, we talked about this, her ability to
such a quick release right out of that left hip pocket. That time driving downhill to lay it in. 6 points now for LA Villa.
Looks inside, especially when shots have been kind of hard to find.
Ayakeda. Luana Leachy. Martalzina again finds herself in on a defensive play.
If you get the ball down there, you've got to have your head up and you've got to be able to find those shooters. And those shooters have to move for you and spot up.
Wallach almost had it ripped free by Chawali Porta. Turnaround by Wallach. What a nifty shot.
Doing what Tara Wallach, the only senior here. It's not coming easy, but she's making big shots for the Cougs. Look at that, though, how difficult of a shot that was and how hard it's been to find buckets in this second quarter.
LA, the cold shooting continues for both of these teams. Gardner getting in for the 8th steal for Washington State. Dana Mendez facing up. Then the 2, a long 2 from Mendez, showing many of these tools in her toolbox, the ability to go inside but also stretch it out.
Yeah, like I said, back to the basket. She'll take you off the drive, and she'll also, you got to watch her.
Jenna Villa with under 10 seconds, kicking to Estera Tahina for 3. Tahina, maybe that'll change the tides for Washington State from deep. Just the second three-pointer in the first half for the Cougars, but it gets them back within 1 heading to the locker room, and Estera Tahina providing it for the Cougs.
Yeah, much needed. I mean, this is going to...
Estera Tahina hit the 3 before the break for WSU. LA Villa inside to Tara Wallach, who had 6 points in the first half and gets right to work here in the third quarter. And San Francisco stepped over the line on the inbounds pass. Big miscue for the
money with that little pull-up jumper right there at that free throw range.
Jenna Villa extending the range for Washington State. And a big 3 from Villa, who had 4 3-pointers the first time these teams met. Ayakeda. Nothing inside. Villa jumps a pass, trying to gain control of the ball and lays it in on Alechi.
So right here, just getting into the passing lane and doing a nice job with that offhand, right? So it doesn't give the referees a chance to call a foul.
The most she had had since scoring 14 against San Francisco earlier this year in conference play. LA Villa trying to back down and turn around, and does on Luana Alechi.
And the Dons able to withstand that and then get a bucket themselves.
Tara Wallach battling inside, following her miss. Already showcased the range at the start of the second half. Tahina, a drive-in kick to Tara Wallach for three. And Tara Wallach knocks in now the fourth three-pointer for Washington State.
Third quarter, Washington State outscoring the Dons 16-6, and it's because of plays like this. They are being much more patient and making the right reads. Great. She knocks down the big shots, the threes, or she'll go to work in the paint.
Backdoor cut to Kira Gardner, and a nice find from Jenna Villa.
AT to kick it out to Wallach for the three. And then right here, overplaying by Worth. Gardner goes backdoor. Villa hits her for the easy two.
24 earlier in the year against Arizona State non-conference play. And now that's 20.
There you go.
Starting to fill up the stat sheet in her own right. Charlotte Abraham saw an opportunity to drive and takes it strong all the way for the Cougars.
Here, this comes off after Washington State just being so patient and moving the ball around.
Wallach was moved into the top 10 in rebounding at Washington State tonight. Gets to an offensive board this time and puts it back up for the Cougars. That's 15 for Tara Wallach.
And that's a player that we talked about. We looked at those stats where it was Worth and Alechi. Alechi.
Tahina just short, but Tara Wallach following it up in time for the Cougars.
Yeah, and Ziaka, they need her, get her going if the Dons are going to put this together. But
and not only this put back for Tara Wallach, in the process,
loosen up that pressure on those other two in Worth and Alechi.
Fulcher's had a tough shooting night, 0 for 5. The Cougars quickly see it up the floor to Jenna Villa. Nice eyes from Estera Tahina. Luana Alechi, one of the leading distributors in the WCC, has shouldered the scoring load with 17 points in this one. LA Villa able to deflect the shot from Angie Ziaka. Cougars, Estera Tahina targeting Tara Wallach, who has 17 points on the Cougars side. Through to LA Villa for three from in front of the Washington State bench, and that's
this ball movement. You can see them looking at their options, facing up. They're moving, they're penetrating, probing that paint area, and they.
Freya Worth, tough shot with a hand in her face. Charlotte Abraham down with it. Cougars 4-on-4. Charlotte Abraham spots up for three. Back-to-back triples for the Cougars.
Been three there, and then on this one, running the lanes again, getting into that paint area and watching if that defense collapse, and if
Ayakeda over to Luana Alechi into the post. Worth battling to stick with it. Worth gets a third crack at it and is fouled. Mendes gets it top of the lane. Drives, was bothered. LA Villa open two on the baseline, and LA Villa almost. San Francisco trying to keep stringing these stops together. LA Villa back to Tara Wallach. Wallach over the 6'6" Chom for three, and that's 20 for Wallach. LA against the grain, and Washington State doesn't need to be in any hurry here. But they find a wide open Mendes. He'll take that every day of the week. 8 points for Diana Mendes. And the Cougars will dribble it out for that 17th win of the year. 67-59 for Washington State. Cami Etheridge and the Cougars with the strong showing tonight at home. They improved to 9-4 in this building, and Tara Wallach, tonight she moved into the top 10 in rebounding at Washington State and also moved up on the career minutes played list for WSU. It's Tara Wallach passing her former teammate Charlize Ledger Walker tonight.